Diane Phillips. And Diane, we're already talking some storms this afternoon. They've been cooking a little bit.
Yes, it's been a busy day across northwest Ohio and southeast Michigan. Here's our current check of the first alert Doppler radar, and you can see that quite of this action has been through the majority of our area. So it's currently actually headed towards Lake Erie, and there's quite a bit of lightning. So this is the area that we're watching.
We've got some booming skies right now. The thunder's pretty much just kind of rumbling through the skies. The downpours, really with the atmosphere that's been really saturated over the past several days, we've kind of felt like we could just sort of take that atmosphere and wring it out. That's what these thunderstorms are doing, and we're seeing some really torrential downpours that are occurring just outside of Woodville and Gibsonburg. And what we can do is actually take the lightning off, and we can isolate some of these areas of really heavy rain. And we're looking at Ottawa County right now from Oak Harbor right along Route 163 back over toward Woodville, getting some of the heaviest rain at this point.
Yes, and actually, even though if you are not in these areas, you need to be weather aware because we do still have that severe thunderstorm watch. We'll see if we can pull that up here for you. Everyone in our viewing area is under this watch. This is going to be in effect right now and last until 9 o'clock tonight. We have seen some warnings, but right now we don't have any active warnings in our viewing area.
Which is good news. These are thunderstorms that just bringing some regular rainfall, and we kind of expected the atmosphere. It was primed for a few storms, Diane, that could become strong or severe. The biggest threats with this one is you're kind of going through 9 o'clock and noon, and that's where our viewers can catch you each and every day. What were the things that you were focusing on today as far as a severe threat?
So we were really concerned about some heavy downpours. Like you had said, we were just kind of wringing out the atmosphere, but then also those damaging winds, which we have seen a few storm reports of potentially some trees causing some damage throughout portions of northwest Ohio. So we'll have a look at that. And also as we tag team here on the coverage, we'll also have more information on what we've seen as far as damage.
In just a moment, we'll bring First Alert meteorologist John Burchfield in too. He's kind of scouring the chat waves right now and coming up with some great data on some of the storms. We'll detail what happened down toward Deschler because this was one storm that raised our attention almost immediately as the severe alerts earlier this afternoon were issued.
Yes, we actually saw, we look at a wind product called velocities. And so we started to get some data that was a little bit higher there. And so actually we have some thunderstorm damage because some of the reports that we have seen were of 50 to even 60 mile per hour winds. So it was around the Deschler area that we did have. It was a tree down, correct, Chris?
A tree down, and it was did do some damage to what was described to us, at least at one time, as toward a mobile home or a shed. So still determining what that actual structure was, but it does appear that by some of the pictures that John will show you in just a few moments that we did have some issues with some of the tree damage that did occur. Torrential rainfall, though, really is going to be focused over Ottawa County, out there towards State Route 2, Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge. If you're thinking of hitting the roads, maybe toward rush hour, you might want to just kind of pause things a little bit as these storms roll through. Very heavy rain from Clay Center down through State Route 2 back over toward Oak Harbor, and that's filling in very quickly toward Port Clinton. So if you're seeing the skies dark right now, let us know where your community is. If the skies are opening up, tell us where you're joining us Facebook Live, and a good opportunity, now that we don't have severe alerts, at least active right now, to introduce First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips. You've got quite a bit of experience in this area. You're from this area, and also worked a couple years up in Lansing, Michigan. So it's great to have you on staff. We're so excited about that.
Thank you. Yeah, and just another thing I do want to highlight, if anybody has friends or family that is driving around the area, hydroplaning is going to be an issue, and also visibility in some of these storms. So if you are headed out yourself, or you can alert some friends and family who are driving, you're just going to want to be cautious of that here through this evening if you're headed out on local roads.
No doubt about that. May not be done with the storm threat this evening. This severe thunderstorm watch that we have actually is going to be in effect until 9 p.m. So there still is the risk that we could regenerate a little instability in the atmosphere. And that's really all we're looking at. There's not a lot of ingredients for widespread, long-lasting severe weather, but just enough that we could get a few pulse storms that do come into the area. Those pulse storms could feature some what we call wet microbursts, which is just a lot of rain falling from the sky very quickly and sort of allowing some of that air to rush out of the thunderstorm, and could create winds to about 60 miles per hour, which is what we expect. We did see most likely down toward Deschler, where we did have a report of some wind damage that was reported. And Diane, I'll let you kind of take us through a little bit on here. We also want to bring in First Alert meteorologist John Burchfield as well, and John's going to give us an update on some of the storm reports as well.
Yes, I'm actually going to bring up, he has been, as Chris had said, he's been checking. There is that graphic. Sorry about that. But John, he's kind of been checking to see what's going on. So let me go and slide this video in here. Sorry about that. Just trying
there we are.
to mix the two, yeah.
They don't want to see
The
me
dramatic
anyways.
reveal. Ta-da.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but this just goes to show just the punch that these storms have packed and really why we are emphasizing that wind threat in particular. So this photo that we were showing Diane is from Deschler, Ohio. We got this one on Twitter, and we do appreciate your storm reports, but of course we always reiterate only if it's safe to do so, after the storm has passed. We do love getting those storm reports. They are really helpful in emphasizing the impacts that Mother Nature can have, and this really goes to show it's either a shed or a mobile home, still kind of waiting to be determined, the details on that one. But regardless of what it is, that wind really packed a punch. I would guess there was at least 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with that one, Diane. But they don't last for a very long time, but when they do come through, really just can cause some serious damage there. And then this is another photo that really showing, a downed tree limb. And that's a pretty sizable tree limb. It's not just a few branches, but a pretty significant tree there.
Guys, I'll just chime in while we're kind of going through this because I'm going through some of the comments. Bob down in Cary says they've already seen 1¼ inches of rainfall. So that goes towards some of the heavy rainfall that is possible.
Yeah.
Louis saying they're just getting hammered right now in Stony Ridge. That's right in the midst of some of the very heavy rainfall. Yeah. More rain that's coming down in Perrysburg. And how about this? Nothing in Archbold. So
it's funny how that
works.
works.
A wide variety of reports.
Very much feast or famine with these.
So go ahead, give us a report right now on this Facebook Live because, John, you've been really monitoring a lot of the reports. So tell us what you're seeing. Tell us if you've seen any storm damage, if you've heard the distant rumbles of thunder, maybe some flashes of lightning off in the distance, or maybe just some good old soaking downpours.
Yeah, thank you, Bob and Louie, for those storm reports. Those are very helpful for us. Even though these storms have been very heavy and even severe at times, that's not to say that everyone is getting stormed on. There are some locations that are really not seeing much of anything. If you live in Fulton County, even northwest Lucas towards Sylvania, it's not really raining much, but down towards Perrysburg, soaking rain. And of course, near Oak Harbor and Port Clinton, that's where the rain is really, really soaking. And kind of the quick rainfall amounts, totaling 1 to 2 inches possible in a very short span of time, could always lead to some ponding and localized flooding. That's always a threat we talk about with summertime thunderstorms, especially when it's been so humid lately. You can just tell that, it's like a washcloth that is wringing it out and raining on out the atmosphere. Also, Fremont seeing some good rains.
We do not have any flood advisories, though, currently. We have seen other storms come through portions like Hillsdale County or even towards Lenawee County who have seen those flood advisories. We do not have any currently in southeast Michigan or northwest Ohio, but of course, if we do have another round of these storms come through, we may see those tonight. So just make sure you stay.
Yeah, so speaking of more storms, I know many of you have evening plans. We got the Marathon Classic. Of course, the weather always seems to throw a loop in that in some way, shape, or form. But what's going on for the rest of the evening? That's kind of what we want to focus on now. I think that the strongest storms are probably in the past now. That's not to say that there won't still be some heavy soaking downpours of rain, maybe a strong to briefly severe thunderstorm. That watch does go until 9 p.m., but usually after we get a first powerful round of storms, that kind of does diminish the threat for additional thunderstorm development, Diane.
Yes, it sucks up everything that we have left, but still, you do want to be weather aware. Of course, that watch does go until 9 o'clock tonight, so that's even going to be right before bed. So make sure you have your First Alert weather app have the sound on, so if we do have any watches or warnings, you can get those directly to your cell phone. Yeah,
so the heaviest storms are now kind of pushing off towards the lake and bay. There are still a few developing in northern Indiana. Those are not severe at this point, but there is still the chance that we do get, some hit or miss isolated thunderstorms. Some of them could bring some brief, heavy winds, kind of the usual suspects, brief heavy downpours as well. But I think as far as widespread severe weather, hopefully that's in the past. Although if you do have any storm reports you can safely share with us, let us know down in the comments below. Any form of social media, would love to keep you updated there. Also, we have a newscast to get ready for, so we'll see you on TV. Of course, all the storms seem to happen before the news, and then, when 5 o'clock rolls around, it's like, we'll still have some storms going on then, and we'll keep you safe and updated throughout the evening.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. A little edition of Facebook Live, a great way to connect with you. And, of course, thank you as well for welcoming Diane Phillips into the First Alert Weather Team. Great opportunity during a stormy afternoon to get to know you a little bit better. And for the viewers that are wondering, they'll be able to catch you most days, 9 o'clock and noon on WTOL 11. And, of course, John Burchfield, great to have you along as well. We're going to be doing some great things here in the evenings as well. So looking forward to what is next with that. Till then, set the channel to WTOL 11. We'll keep you updated on WTOL 11. Coming up, just about 60 minutes from right now.
Yep, stay safe. Have a good evening.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.